You weren't here for the audience with Nick Pope we had before. I think you were at the door. I don't know if you had a ticket or not, but he was very pleased to be back in the England squad.
Well, if I had a ticket, it would have been a free one. So I tend to not need one around these parts.
Quite right, too.
No, he's done very well, Pope. He continues to do so. He was unfortunate last year, which we all know about. This season, he's come back fit and well. He looks sharp. He's delivering performances in a side that are looking in good shape, I think, and I think that's helpful to him. But equally, he plays his part in being helpful to the side, and he certainly deserves, in my opinion, to be involved with the England setup. There's a couple of others here I think do as well, but I don't pick the team, and nor should I. I think it's down to Gareth to pick who he thinks. But back to Popey, he's a very, very good keeper, and I think he continues to improve.
How quickly did he get back to his best after it was a long-term injury? And I know you were very careful with reintroducing him, but when was it you saw that he was back to where he should be, that top level?
Well, I don't think it was far after he was fit, but we knew there was a competitive side of the game last season with Tom Heaton doing so well and with Joe Hart doing well for us in the early part of the season. And I thought the time element, actually, he wouldn't agree because all players want to play. But we did have a look at it and think the time element would actually do him good. Anything with your upper body for goalkeepers is more serious than an outfield player. But you can clearly see he's super strong. He comes out for a cross at the end of last week's game. Magnificent. Comes out, takes a cross, calms the game down. We make sure we see the game through. Them small things, just good goalkeeping. Not about big saves, just good goalkeeping. They're important things, and they're things that I think as goalkeepers mature, they add to their game, and he's certainly doing that.
He's obviously got better then. How close is he to being England's number one?
Well, that's not my decision. I entrust him with our group. It's up to Gareth what he entrusts with his group.
But do you see a man there that could be England's number one?
Oh, without doubt. But that's time, that's trust, that's form, that's relationships. It's all them things that go into the melting pot to go into a side, and that's Gareth's decision.
And you, just finally for me, you've worked with a fair few England goalkeepers over the last couple of years. What is it that sets an England goalkeeper apart from maybe just a very good Premier League one?
I think opinion, mostly. I think there's a lot of good goalkeepers around, but opinion and form, obviously. You've got to be in good form, or generally speaking. The right people with the right opinions, they often make the difference.
Just on Nick, I want to be very brief because I know you've already done quite a few questions on him there, but the step up that he continues to make, obviously you plucked him from obscurity really to bring him. Well, yeah, but he wasn't. Sorry, that was a personal dig, wasn't it?
They're having a fight in the press room without involving me.
Supposed to be impartial, aren't we, as journalists?
Yeah, well, apparently.
Yeah.
Well, impartial apart from Charlton.
Absolutely, yeah. Relative obscurity, you plucked him from, Sean, and brought him into a Burnley team, took him into the side, obviously, at a time when you absolutely desperately needed him as well. But he just reacted so well to that, and he seems to grow and grow and grow and grow. Even in the press conference before, it's a guy who looks a lot more mature than he did even 12 months ago.
Yeah, but that comes with all the experiences you have, both on and off the pitch. Around the Premier League, he's matured into that for sure. But the thing I've been very happy with is obviously Billy's work with the keepers. That deserves a mention, but also the way we've collectively transitioned some of these players into the group. And I think Popey's was hard for him to understand at first. He came in wanting to play, and if he couldn't play, be on the bench. And we said, just sit tight, get used to how we work, get used to the training, get used to the strength plan we've got for you, and you will get your chance to start getting involved, and then you'll grow into the side. So I've been really pleased with that, because by the time he needed to step in, and from an unfortunate situation, obviously, he's delivered. And I think he was ready to deliver. And I think we've done well over the years, not just with goalkeepers, with players here, allowing them a bit of time to get ready to deliver rather than hoping they deliver. And I've been pleased with that, but particularly with the goalkeepers. And Bailey's going through that process now. I think he's a really good, strong young keeper. He'll continue to improve, I believe, particularly working with Billy and the two other keepers. And I like that side of it, and I think that's helped Popey. And going back to him as a person, you become more rounded. He's had a lot of experiences, on and off the pitch over the last couple of years due to his performances on the pitch. I've knocked onto off the pitch, stuff you do with England, stuff you do with the media. They do round you off as a person. He's had a child as well. That certainly makes you grow up. I think all them things rub off on you. And he's a good character, and he's good around the place. And he's a very good goalkeeper, so a nice package.
Thank you, Sean. Great, thank you.
And he was from Charlton.
One more broadcast. Go on, one more. Yeah. And just on the England squad there, James Tarkowski obviously missed out this time around. Is that a bit of a surprise to you, considering how well he started the season?
Like I say, I don't really get too involved with it. Gareth can only pick certain players. I'm surprised with the standard performances he's been putting in, but I've been surprised for Ben Mee over the last couple of years. Different reasons for different managers to like players, which I totally understand and I respect. It's not my job to pick the England side. It's up to Gareth, and I get on well with Gareth. So, there's no lack of respect there or anything like that. It's just that I think Tarky, in my opinion, him or Ben Mee or both could be called up, in my opinion.
How's the squad looking ahead of the game against Everton?
Yeah, good. Generally, we've got Drinky continues to make progress with his ankle. Back on the grass, working with the physios, increasing fitness levels. He's still got training to come with us and then games, but he's looking stronger. Cork is the only doubt. He's got a very minor fracture on his scapula, I believe it is. And although it's not that painful, he said it feels good. There's obviously a precautionary element to that. Touch and go, but I'm thinking we'd probably look wiser on it to make sure he's ready for the next one, especially with the international window coming. Everyone else is in good fine fell.
Teams often find themselves more suited to playing home or away. Do you get the sense with this team that you prefer they're more natural, more comfortable at the moment playing at Turf Moor or away from home? Not in the sense of performance levels. I think our performance levels have been good away as well. I think we were unlucky at Arsenal. Contentious penalty, in my opinion, down at Wolves. Sort of nicked our way out of it at Brighton a bit, and then a good performance down at Villa. So I've certainly enjoyed the performances. But I think on the other hand, I think most teams like to play at home support. The feeling in the ground. We know our support get behind us. We know it's everyone talks of it being an awkward place to come. So therefore, in that respect, then it's good to be at home for sure. Chris Wood scored again at the weekend. He's in this great little purple patch at the moment. He had to be patient for the goals to come this season, but now they are flowing. Do you get the sense he can really hit highs this year?
Well, I think the talk was Barnsley for the right reasons, scoring goals. I still think he's performing. Then Woody was kind of under the radar. Then he's popped up and scored goals. Ideally, you want all of your strikers and other players, of course, but your strikers scoring goals. It makes them feel right about themselves because that's what they do. But no, he's in good form. And I think the options we've got, I think Vids is looking sharper all the time in training and the moments he's had. And obviously J-Rod popped up with a great goal and thought a very good performance second half. And him and Vids affected the game down at Brighton as well. So, I think there's a group there. I believe in all of them for different reasons. But Woody at the moment, he's looking sharp. Barnes early season, J-Rod getting stronger and Vids getting stronger. So a healthy group of strikers there.
How close is Jay Rodriguez to getting into the first team and starting?
I don't think he's ever far away. I think it's the first season that since I've been here where we've managed to form a group of players where the margins are super fine between who starts and who doesn't. And I've said in a couple of these press conferences in varying times that it would be no surprise to me to someone who's not coming on the bench could go straight into the side because at the minute we're even having to look after the bench and make sure that we're trying to keep everyone alive, trying to get them involved, and different people leaving, coming out the group and then coming back in. I think it's appropriate because I think the margins are so fine between all the players now. We've worked hard over certainly 3-4 years to try and get a group that have that competitive edge. Not necessarily, I said the other week, not necessarily, I don't mean in a way that it's definitely my best group I've had here. Because I've had some very good ones, I believe. But I think the competition element of the squad is a definite because I think it's really tight and I think there's some good performance here.
I saw a line that Inter Milan are potentially circling around Jay Rodriguez. Have you had any calls yet?
Do you know, someone mentioned it to me today and in my time here I've had some weird and wonderful things and I think that's certainly in my top 10, probably in my top 5 of oddnesses as he's just joined the club for one, rejoined the club. So I don't know where that one's come from, that's for sure.
He's not started trying to learn Italian this morning or anything?
Not to my knowledge. You never know, but I don't think so.
What was your relationship like with Antonio Conte when he was in England? Because obviously he must have had a view on Jay, certainly when he was playing elsewhere, I know.
But there wasn't really a relationship in the sense you just bump into each other at a game and you get on, with your job. There was certainly nothing other than just pleasantries when we played them and, get on with what we do.
Everton then this weekend, obviously it probably brings back some hard memories for the players last year, that Boxing Day defeat. Are you using that at all as any kind of a motivation?
No, I don't need to. The players are motivated. It was actually the turning point of a season, and I think we all realigned after that. So I think there's a lot of positives came out of that game in a strange kind of way, of course, not an enjoyable game for us at the time, but looking back, something that gave us a kickstart into the second half of the season, and you all know the story from then on in, and still going now, because I think we've been strong the early part of this season as well. So no, I think the players are motivated here. I think I mentioned in pre-season, I could see the fire in their eyes, as we say, and I could see the urgency and the demand in their training. Doesn't guarantee, but like I always say, but it gives you a way better chance. If people are emotionally in good shape, we know they're physically in good shape. We'd like to think we're an organised side, and then they've got the freedom to go and play. And that when that mixture is correct and it's in place, then I think we can at least challenge teams in this division, and we've already shown that we can win games. So we're really focused on what we do.
Did anything specific happen after that Everton defeat last year? Was there any soul searching? Was there a team meeting? Did something?
There's always a bit of that, but not nothing major. A short team meeting to remind them of the simplicity when we're at our best, because it got a bit confused for a while. A couple of changes as well. Dwight McNeil obviously coming in at that time and has never really gone out since. Rightly so with his performance levels. I think it was just a grounding, really. Everyone knew that it wasn't quite right, and we adjusted it. We got it back to basics, and I think we delivered from there on into the rest of the season. And as I said, I've done during this pre-season, and I've done going into the early part of this season. So I've been pleased with that.
And
Excuse me.
What do you make of Everton this year? They've been relatively inconsistent, I suppose, as far as results have gone.
Yeah, I mean, the Premier League's difficult. We all know that. Whether they're inconsistent or not, they've still got good players. They've got good individuals. They've had a lot of passes. They haven't been effective in a couple of games where they've liked to have scored more goals, obviously, but they've had a lot of passes, a lot of possession. I think like every manager, they'll be trying to get the best 11 out there that combine to be successful. And I think they're probably looking at that, probably looking at possible changes, possibly even a change of formation. It depends what their belief system is and how they're going about it. And we made the players aware, as we always do. Certainly some important details, but I think it still comes down to us. It always does. We certainly focus on ourselves being ready to play.
Sean, what do you make of Marco Silva being under pressure after so few matches this season?
I think we've all spoken about it as managers at varying times. The demands of the game are forever higher. The demands within clubs are forever higher. It's just the way it is. I'm sure he's working diligently to try and help his side to perform like all managers do. I'm not really that worried about other people. I tend to concern myself with me, my staff, the players and this club, and I focus on that. But as an outside view, I just think it's the demands of the job nowadays.
You are a fantastic example here at the club and yourself in the job of what stability can achieve at a football club, aren't you?
Yeah, but probably a different kind of club, different kind of building process from where it was to where it is now. It aligns you with a bit more of a window of time, I think, when fans have seen the journey, they know what it's about, they understand it in a different kind of way. We've had to develop into a side without huge finances being put in, which is good in a way, but it's tough. A different kind of club. I don't think all clubs are the same. In fact, none are really the same. So I think there's a different thought, a different demand of each job. It's not right or wrong. It's just what it is.
Afternoon, Sean. You mentioned now Everton perhaps looking at a change in formation. Is that something that you might consider as well, given the Cork injury and the way you finished on
I
Saturday?
think we looked at it, unbeknown to most people who think we always play a 4-4-2. Last season we had more changes in formation than we'd ever had in my time here. It often comes down to what suits the players, and I believe I know what suits the players, and which is why we often do play with two strikers, because I think it's effective and I think it does suit our group. Statistically, it suits our group, but I think the flexibility we've been looking for has certainly been on show this season. In pre-season we morphed it into a 3 on a couple of occasions and just let it go naturally, and it kind of had a good positive effect. Brighton, it had a positive effect. Last weekend it had a positive effect. So I think it's there. Should we need it, that flexibility, I think it's a good thing to have. I think, as I said earlier on, the fact that we've got a more competitive squad, slightly different twist on it with Jay Rodriguez, who can play wide as a 3 if you like, coming off the wide, even though he's a forward, and he's done that many times. Ashley Barnes has done that many times, particularly before he got here down at Brighton. So I think, we can flex and change, and I think it's a good thing to have, and we'll try and use it as wisely as we can.
And just how important is Jack Cork and Ashley Westwood as that midfield too? I think Corky's played something like 82 out of 83 games since he joined the club or something.
He's a disgrace. Can't believe is that all. Well, I'll have a word with him. I think he's lacking in fitness, and his consistency is awful, obviously.
But just how important are those two as a pairing to you as well, the way you like to play?
Well, I think we've got lots of other good players. I think there's situations arise where two tend to get a shirt, sometimes a pairing do get a shirt, and they've worked very well. Everyone knows I'm a big believer in Jeff Hendrick as well. Drinky hasn't had a chance yet, obviously. But no, I mean, they've got a good connection now. They're playing, but Jeff is more than able to fill that space and go and play. I've got no doubt about that. So, yeah, it's one of them things. But like I said, I'll have words with him about his fitness and his consistency, because that's just not good enough.
It should be 83 out of 83.
Exactly.
You mentioned Dwight McNeil then as well. He'll obviously be perhaps hoping for an England under-21 call-up in their next squad. He came into the team obviously after that Everton game. How sort of pleased or surprised have you been just by how impressive he's been over the last 9 months for you?
I think the main thing for Dwight is getting the chance when he first came in, and then the first few games did very well, and then it's about, can they consider themselves part of what we do and then grow into that? And I think he has, rather than some young players that they have a flyer and then it eases down a bit and they can sometimes come out the side. He hasn't really done that, and he's continued in the side by merit, by his performance levels and what he means to the team, and his adaptation to the Premier League has been excellent. And going away in the summer, you wonder, but he's come back, he's been fit, he's been active, and he looks alive as well. So, all good from that point of view. And the England side of things, I'm sure he's very proud with that. And when it comes his way, he'll give everything he can towards it.
And just lastly for me, on Danny Drinkwater, is there a timescale at the minute as to when you might expect him?
No, only because his general fitness is getting stronger. He's working with the physios. He's not with us yet. Once he comes with us, then we've got a chance to get some form of idea on when we think he'll be back. He also needs games, of course, because he hasn't had much football in the last 2 years.
So it'll be a few weeks then?
Yeah, I would think so, yeah.
Thank you.